For this strategy, I'm actually showing it on an intermediate map, but this intermediate map is considered by many to be very hard, so we are doing it anyways. The strategy that I'm going to be showcasing today is the sub commander with Pat Fusty. This strategy involves a bunch of subs under the buff of Pat Fusty, but they don't all have to be. Just as long as you have some, it will work pretty fine. So what we're going to be doing is a standard sub alchemist start. The start on shoots is a little bit interesting because of these weird statues in the middle that block the line of sight. So we are going to try to remove those pretty early on, but if you don't have to deal with that, you will have a little bit of a head start from me. So we're just doing the normal rush air burst as fast as possible. And the thing about the Pat placement is that that was actually a misclick there. So basically for Pat, we want to have him buffing the subs, but we also want to have his slap be able to attack the balloons, because his slap is very powerful. It stuns and knocks back the balloons, so we want to be able to get both. Note that the range will increase later on, so you have a little bit of leeway. Then after that, we're going to want to get some intel darts and get trip guns, and we're going to want to get the priority buff on the sub. Here it was a little bit tricky to get the priority buff because these darts and Pat were in the way, but I ended up getting it. Normally it's going to be a lot easier for you. So after that, we can get the APD, and that will roll straight through 40. And then we're going to try to get stim, and I'm going to go 401 on the alchemists because we will be getting a lot of subs, so 401 will be better. Now the next thing we're going to do is get discounts. Discounts are very important because we are going to be spamming a lot of subs, so we will save a ton of money. We get drums on one, and we start going for the subs. These will start out as 203. I will upgrade them to APD later on because we do have a limited amount of space. But if you have a lot more space, like for example you're playing on Spiced Islands, it actually is better to go for more 203 subs because it's more cost efficient than APDs. But as long as you can fit them all under an MIB, because that will have to be the case at the end, or else they won't be able to attack the DDTs. Now for round 59, this is pretty important. We need to get either the village up to camo right now, or go for shattering shells on 59. I prefer shattering shells because it's a little bit cheaper, although you do have to do a tiny bit of mortar micro. So after we get that and we can beat the camelids on 59, I will start going for more subs. Also, one thing that I did not say before is that on the end of round 48, you need to stop spending money, or else you will not afford the sub commander on 63. That is very important. The goal is to get it right before 63, and that will allow you to get it right before 63. And also note that you will need to spend a little bit of cash on round 59, so add that into the budget. After the sub commander, you will be cruising for a very long time, and we have enough time to get up all of these subs. And also I'm going to be getting more 401 alchemists. Normally for 6 or 7 subs, I would get 3 401 alchemists. So basically base it off that ratio, and you will have juice on all of your subs, and they will become very powerful. Now, as you can see, we can save up for a very long time. Because space is limited, I go all of these guys on APD. If your space is not limited, don't do it as long as they can be under an MIB. And then I go for a shattering shells. The shattering shells was pretty early, but it does not really matter. For the later rounds in 90s and up, I will change it when the fortifieds come out, so it will defortify. And then I'm going to need to get MIB so we can kill the DDTs. And then I'm going to also get a Sabo because some of the DDTs can become an issue, and Moab Glue to slow it down. The Moab Glue is very good. It's pretty important to get this guy. Now, the next tower that I'm going to get is pretty particular. I don't get it often, but it's a call to arms. It's not the best support tower in the world, but it actually does a pretty decent job. So I ended up going for it. And also, like I said before, Pat Fusty's roar ability will buff the subs greatly, so I do get that. And then I also get a mob press at the end or 2, and that will help out as well. Now, the last thing that you note, the strategy is not the best at killing the insides of the bad particularly, So you will have to get some towers to help pop the bad either earlier or get another tower to do the cleanup. And that was the spike storm, and that is the strat.